Welcome to the 8th episode of the Knitting Yak virtual edition. Today's guests are Jonna and Sini of Laine Magazine.
Hi.
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 Hello.
Look at that. My husband just made this one for me.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
It's so nice to see you guys. I'm so happy we can do this
Likewise. You too, Paola. You too.
together. And I put my Marimekko dress because
Nice.
in honor of the Finnish.
Yeah,
the Finnish
in honor of your Italian heritage, we have Aperol
and we have
spritz.
the spritz. So we hope that everybody that's joining us had the drinks in their hands. If not, it's a bit early here in New York. It's only 2 p.m. It's not, but
Yeah, we have like 9 p.m. So
exactly.
this
So
is all good.
So
Yeah.
Chin. Cheers.
Chin, Paola.
And we posted the Aperol spritz recipe on Instagram, both on Laine and mYak. So in case you want to rush out and come back with a spritz, it's one of my favorite drinks. It's very summery. It's
very summery.
And I thought we could just, we needed the end of this another long week at home.
I know, and this was actually the first day in the whole week that we didn't get any snow here in Tampere where we live.
Yeah.
So this has been a sunny around 7 Celsius degrees. So yeah, this is good weather for us Finns to enjoy something.
I know, yeah. Yeah, I've been there. Still cold in summer. I was there in July for the Jyväskylä festival.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was so cold. That's why I got a dress actually. But I remember that everybody was going around at the festival with their short sleeves, and I had like a cowl, a sweater, a jacket.
Yeah.
And they were looking at me like I was really strange. And I was like, it's cold, but I'm Italian, so.
Yeah. So I remember my first trip to Italy. So I was 18 years old, and it was my second trip abroad. So my parents, since I sort of graduated from the high school, so my parents bought me a trip to go to Italy, and I went to Sicily. I remember when I first went to Sicily, so in the southern part of Italy, and it was around this time, so the middle of April, and I was wearing t-shirt and shorts, and I was having strawberry frozen margaritas, and everybody in Sicily were having their,
winter clothes. But talking about Italy is really, in a way, is what connects us. Besides, of course, the creativity and the yarn and the knitting and the love that we have for that. But I think that Italy is one of the things that really connects us as well, and that's one of the reasons why we became friends. Is because you came also to one of our retreats in Italy, and we got to spend time together. So, what about your passion for Italy? Do you want to talk a little bit about
that? My passion started 8 years ago. So I was a student, and then I was actually supposed to go and study in Bologna for a few months. But then, and I went to Bologna, and I was there for about 3 weeks, and I didn't know the language, and I couldn't find a place to stay. So I came back to Finland after the 3 weeks. But I think that trip and that trip to Sicily when I was 18 years old, so they were kind of magical in terms of the light and in terms of the colors, the architecture, the burnt sienna color that you have in Italy.
Yeah.
So that was the thing that really inspired me. That was kind of like from, I fell in love. And then when I met my husband around 15 years ago, so it turned out that he was a huge fan of AC Milano.
Yeah,
So the football club in Milano. So once again, we had this reason to travel to Italy and to see the games, to see the football matches, and I don't know, it's everything. The food, people, the relaxed yet kind of a busy vibe and
lively.
yeah.
What about you?
And we have been now spending 2 summers summer holiday together in Italy, so for about a month. And we were supposed to go there in the end of May for 4 weeks holiday, which obviously got cancelled.
Yeah.
So we are really sad about that.
Yeah. So how's the situation in Finland? I know, on my first episode, when we decided to try to keep company with these chats with different people. Our first episode was with Sini. With Asari. And she was telling us about as well what the situation is there, which is very different from New York or from Italy, but still is kind of intense. So how you living your days there?
So basically, pretty much everything is closed. So schools are closed, daycare is closed, which means Jonna has her kids at home. People ask to stay home to work. For instance, at Laine too, we are like I and Jonna, and then Jonna's husband who works for us full time, and then we have 2 employees. So we have ordered or asked our 2 employees to stay at home. So we haven't seen them in 1 month. 1 month.
So this is like day 31 in Finland.
Yeah.
That the total close-up has been for over a month now.
Restaurants are closed. You can only take takeaway. Many shops are closed. You aren't supposed to, like the normal social distancing thing.
Yeah.
So for instance, us 2, we see each other, and then Jonna's family, and I see my parents, but that's like it. No social gatherings, no social interactions. So yeah, it's quite tough.
Okay.
Yeah, intense, but not that intense as like the situation in Finland is pretty calm.
Because we can like go out, and that I have 2 dogs, so I have to take them out. So it isn't like in France that you are allowed to take your dog out once a day.
Yeah.
So I am allowed to go out whenever I want.
Yeah, that's good.
So we have been managing well, and even though me and the kids at home, I'm trying to work, and it's still good. So my older one is 12, and she does her daily classes with her teacher through Skype or something like that. And then I have the younger one with me all the time, but when I'm working, she's watching YouTube or playing Minecraft or something else. But so far so good. So it's of course it's very, very interesting situation, mildly put, but
challenging.
At the same time. Do you get to do more knitting, or do you find that your creativity is changing, or?
We just talk about it that, well, sort of you have more time. Of course, the situation for me, for instance, is really different than for Jonna. I live alone, so I don't have the kids at home and things like that. So you kind of have more time to do all those things, but the level of concentration you have, because you are quite stressed out all the time.
Not even like completely stressed, but then the anxiety of not knowing what's going to happen. I think that's kind of.
So it's actually it's not that easy to be creative and productive.
Right.
You have the pressure of being productive because now you have all the time available. But that's not, it's those 2 things, having the time and being creative or productive, those don't go hand in hand all the time. So
I'm sure a lot of people want to know what you've been up to these days? I know that you just had a live chat as well, and where you were talking about the Cal, the knit along that you're launching or that you just launched. But you know, some maybe people that are here now, they were not on that live chat earlier on. So maybe you want to talk about what's next for you guys, what's coming up, and what are the plans?
Lots of stuff happening in our headquarters. So this whole beginning of this year has been quite a trip, because we on Valentine's Day we launched our first book, the 52 Weeks of Socks, and it has been such a huge success.
Yes.
And that has taken a lot of our time, because still, you know, we are a small company, a small team, and whenever we get those books into our headquarters, it's ourselves that do all the packing and shipping and stuff. So that has taken a lot of time from our team, especially from Sini and Antti, because I've been at home with the kids and the rest of the team is in quarantine. And and now basically we have a few months sort of that we don't have anything at the moment that we are about to publish. So our next books that will be out in the autumn. So basically we have a lot of stuff going, but not something that we have to
visible to the outside. Do you mean that?
Yeah, that's visible to the others, and that we every day that we needed to you know, give our everything. So basically this is the time of thinking and creating and thinking all of the aspects behind the books, and you know, thinking about the marketing, all the strategies and the meta stuff happening in your brain.
Now, of course, you know, I've been a fan of the Laine Magazine since it came out, and I didn't even know you. And you know, I think each issue has been, you know, better and better, and filled with so much passion that you have poured yourself into. Was so great to see all the interviews that you did with people, all of your travel, but also, you know, and I'm in. Not only, you know, the most famous designers, but you know, you are showcasing people that or designer that maybe they were not as known as others, but they had beautiful designs, and the way you put your photography for them was so wonderful. So I think it was really nice to see a magazine, an all-round magazine with all of those elements in it, that it was something that's so different from anything that was on the market. So I think you did, you know, it was a great it's a great service that you did to the community, I think, with that.
Thank you.
And I must say that I at the beginning, especially when we met, I was knitting very, very little. And
yeah, we remember.
I was enjoying more the recipes.
Yeah.
And those I really, really enjoyed. And I was like, okay, I'll get to the knitting eventually. But it was when we met in Italy, and I could just see you were incredible. You always had your needle, exactly like you're doing now. I could never do that. You always had your needles. And we were having lunch. You would just pause between one fork and the other and knit probably a few rows, because you're so fast. And that inspired me to take on the needles again and really start again. And I haven't stopped, and I actually managed to knit a few things since then. So I think, you know, like many other knitters around the world, we have to thank you for that inspiration and that passion that you have.
Thank you. Thank you.
But
that's
do you want to talk about your recipes, maybe?
Sorry?
Do you want to talk a little bit about how you choose your recipes for and also for the upcoming you have the upcoming book, yeah?
We are working on a book that comes out maybe later this year. Let's see, which will combine. Jonna will design some knitwear design spritz, and I will make some recipes. So there will be some food and some knitting, which both are really close to our hearts, and which we think that both knitting and food actually bring people together. You know, it's a combination.
I must admit at this point that Sini is the cook, and
Yes.
I'm most definitely not. So I don't enjoy that much.
But you're a
of
good
cooking.
cook.
I'm a
Yes.
good cook, but I don't like
Yes.
it that much. And I can bake and stuff, but it's Sini who, and that's how actually the whole line started. Because years ago, when I had my yarn shop, and I have been a journalist for 20 years already, but I had a yarn shop in a few years ago, and Sini was a customer of mine. And back then Sini was also a famous food blogger, like worldwide famous food blogger. And I knew her blog, and I knew that she takes magnificent photos, and that was the reason actually why we get together, because I asked her, I had this idea of making a Finnish knitting magazine, and I asked her that, would you like to do some recipes for my magazine? And then when we started to talk more about this idea, so we decided that let's do this, let's do an international publication.
Yeah.
And that's how Laine started.
What is your favorite recipe? What is, what you like to do the most?
I think like Italian inspired cooking, pretty much, like, or Mediterranean. So fresh ingredients, but using a lot of fresh produce that we have here in Finland. So especially when we go into summer and autumn, we have lots of wild berries, mushrooms, all that stuff. Fish. So we have really, really amazing produce in Finland. And combining that produce, which we have, with like an Italian twist mostly. So I would say Mediterranean cooking, but always like Nordic inspired, pretty much. Yeah.
And just now Sini made us some teriyaki salmon with rice,
Yes.
so kind of Japanese style food. And sometimes we stick to very Nordic dishes, like of course cinnamon buns and mashed potatoes, and some let's say stew made of mousse.
Oh goodness me. Can I think, as soon as this is done and over and we can travel again, I'm on the first flight.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah,
I know. I wrote a couple of weeks ago that once this whole thing is over, I will take the first flight and go to Rome.
Yes, absolutely. Me too. I really want to go home as well.
Yes.
So today you launched the knit along with your first. Is that your first design, Nook, or the first design that it was in the magazine?
The first design in the magazine, yeah. And when we started, so of course, I don't know, I think some of you know our story, that we didn't have any money, we just started a magazine and calculated how many copies we have to sell in order to cover the printing costs. And we didn't have money to pay for all the designers, and of course we paid for those who weren't a part of our team, but that made me also, that I was forced kind of do something.
Right.
You
had designed before.
I have designed, and you
have published, or you.
Yeah, I have published. Yeah. I have published as well, and I remember, my first knits when I was a child, less than 10 years old. So that was the thing, how you made your knitwear. So you cast it on, and you had some image in your head, and then you calculated, and then you just did it. Yeah. So that was kind of basic. And also I have to admit that I am still I'm very keen into really basic knits. So my designs are always rather simple, and they let the yarn to blossom itself. And yeah, but that's nice. And I've always very into fashion. So yeah, I like to do that part as well. Even though words like writing and taking pictures is the passion number one, but I still enjoy of also
of that.
Yeah.
I think that is when you talked about your design, the fact that it's simple, but simple but not so simple. But your designs are so beautiful and elegant. The shapes and the form, they have these architectural shapes and forms that are really interesting. And I think that Nook in particular, do you have a sample with you there by any chance?
Yeah, actually we do.
I know, probably, Sini, by the end of this chat, you probably have knit one, but I know you just casted it on.
Actually, we talked about maybe not going to sleep tonight and just knit. So we have a Nook tomorrow morning.
Yeah. But can we see?
So that may be a plan.
Can you?
So, this is one example. This isn't the original one, because the original one is made of Brooklyn tweed shelter, and it was made in the colorway fossil, which is sort of off-white, really nice balanced tone. And I have knitted a few in shelter, and this one is made in Rosa Pomar Beiroa.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of options. I was just thinking that your the medium
right here, actually,
that would work fantastically.
Now you have kids for it now, right?
Naturally soft.
Yeah, that's what I have. So
yes,
because when you posted it, I was going through all of your design, trying to pick our favorites, and it was very difficult to do that, and we were trying to inspire some people. And the first one on my list, no kidding, was Nook. And then I saw that you were posting the knit along, and I thought, you know what, I have to do it. I have to try. So we did post. We actually uploaded kits and bundles on our website as well, with a medium weight. And I thought that you might like, of course, the mustard.
Mustard, our favorite, probably our favorite color of yours.
Which is your favorite color? There you go. I knew that. But I think I go with a natural desert.
Yes,
that's a beauty. I think we have that's canyon.
We have canyon here.
Canyon is funny because canyon is the third choice that we put up. Desert, canyon, and mustard. And if people are following us, we if you look on Instagram, we will have a special code for you guys on our Instagram or at the end of this live. And if you are a subscriber to our newsletter, so subscribe tonight, the code is a little higher for everything that we put up tonight. So but talking about the medium, you have knitted, or you've tried, you swatched quite a bit with both of you with a medium weight. What do you think about it?
It's a really nice yarn.
It's a very versatile yarn, so you can get different gauges, and then the different gauges also work. So whether you have something that is a bit looser in a way or tighter, everything works. But I also really like the thinner one, held in double.
Oh yes,
the lace weight one. Yeah.
So that's what you're talking about. So the lace weight, I'm also showing the natural color, and which is great for a lot of the designs that you have in the magazine. This is the lace weight held double. And remember, you have, of course, you have it in mustard.
Yes.
And I also have it in oatmeal.
In the oatmeal, yes. And for all of the people listening out there, whether you are in all over the world, we have so many local yarn stores that have our yarn, and of course we wish to have more. So any yarn stores that wants to contact us in Finland, of course, as well, but all over the world. So contact the yarn stores if you want a yarn, because you're going to support them. It's a tough time for them as well as like everybody else. You can buy online from us, and Andrea and I are the only one going to the showroom here in New York.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
in Italy, we pack a few every week, and then we send a few. So we are a bit, we do what we can, or just contact a local yarn store as well. So, most of them ship and deliver. So, but we like all the natural shades as well. I know that last time you were in New York in January, actually, when we had our event, you were one of the guest of honors together with Olga and Jennifer Steingas. And I see Olga just popped in. So hi, Olga.
Hi, Olga.
And it was so nice to see you there. But I remember, going away with a lot of our masters. So that's why we are sold out.
I think we bought 2 sweater quantities.
Yeah, because we both wanted to knit muckies from.
The magic from yes, I did that. But it's so nice to that. And so the cal will go how long? The knit along? I need time.
We haven't even decided. So
okay,
we just decided that this is kind of a launch for this whole thing. That let's knit something nice together, and maybe 2-3 weeks. Let's see. We will keep
a month.
Yeah, we will.
3 weeks. I just managed to cast on.
A month.
Yeah,
we
will do some lives during the knit along and keep you posted about our how we have managed to progress our notes, and let's see.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's really nice that you do that. So people will get together and do that. Now
it's a nice basic piece.
Difficult question to ask, and I'm sure you don't have one answer, but do you have not of your design, but a couple of designs that you think are very versatile in the 9 issues of Laine and that you did that you keep going back to, and you need more than one, or that that you like them better not because of the design or because of the photography?
There are a couple of Laine classics. It's really hard to pick. Of course. But there are some classics, I think. Magnolia from issue 4. I think that's a total classic. Birkin from Caitlin Hunter from issue 2.
Treista from issue
3.
Jennifer Stangas.
Love that.
Natasha Hornby, issue 6 with the color shawl. A gorgeous shawl with cauliflowers. And in the same issue, Marit cardigan, the colorwork cardigan. There are really many. I think.
Yeah, they all fit in different. They have a different spots in our hearts, and
It was very hard to, we were trying to put a newsletter together to go out tomorrow, and it was so hard to just choose a few. And I kept saying, oh, this one, that one.
Yes,
and Carlotta
exactly.
was uploading pictures. But of all of the design, of course, I have a couple of my favorites. And
that's fantastic. Yes.
From Alex. It's Beard. Is that how you pronounce her last name?
Beard.
There you go. I don't think I could have ever done that. And this sample is done with our Tibetan cloud in dusty pink and Ginepro, and it was knitted for us by Reiko, which Reiko-san. And she did such a great job, but it's such an amazing design, and it was so nice to see Alec at Vogue Knitting Live in January. So this is something that I really like, of course, because it's pink. Yeah, I love her design, and then I say that I'm not partial, but she's one of my favorite designers, not because she's watching us, but of course Olga with her winter suns, and she's running a cal. I think it's the knit along for the winter sun is still going,
right? Yeah.
And this is also amazing.
Yeah, and if we had to pick one designer that thinks things differently and create something new, So that's definitely Olga. She really is amazing creating her own stuff and creating new stuff and trying different techniques and creating techniques and amazing.
And getting in her brain, it would be like
Yes,
how she does that.
Yeah.
And so you've done these amazing books, the 52 weeks of socks. I have not knitted one yet, but you know, I'll try. And
they will come.
The photography is like amazing. I know you are sending out new copies of this. You've been very, very busy sending copies to retailers all around the world.
Yes, so for 2 weeks now, I and Jonna's husband Antti have been packing and shipping. Basically the two of us, because of this current situation. So we have been packing and shipping, and we just sent the last package yesterday. So yeah, those are available again. Do you still have them in stock at mYak?
I actually know I sold out, so maybe I should order some more.
Yeah. So there are still stockists having it, and then you can order it through our online shop as well. Yeah.
And somebody's asking Olga's full name. She goes by Olga Jazzy, and her full name is Olga Buraya Kefelian. You can find her both on Ravelry and I remember when this came out, just in December, you know, somebody as a joke said to you, what about 52 weeks of shawls? And you said, never. And now,
never ever.
And now you just put a call out for a submission for a shawl book.
Well, we are quite easy if you give us an idea. So in the end, we probably will make it.
Yeah.
The never ever came out of just sending the book, the sock book, into print, and it's making a thick book with 52 patterns and working with, well, for the sock book with 46 designers, it's an immense amount of work. So so after completing the sock book, we were like, okay, this is nuts. And not only publishing one version of it, but we translated the whole book into Finnish as well, so our native language. So basically we published two books with 250 pages.
Yes. Yeah. I think
so,
somebody said something in Finnish.
First we were like, no, never, and now. Yeah. Let's do a shawl book. Why not? It's fun.
So you're accepting submissions right now. Until when? When are the submissions open?
Until May 8th. So you still have 3 weeks to submit.
Okay.
And this is the first time we are actually taking crochet submissions as well. So, you know, people who crochet come up with some ideas. Yeah. So we are eager to see them.
It will still be mostly a knitting book, but we will have a couple of crochet patterns in it too.
Yeah. Okay. I see that Lucia is also coming on, and I just had a chat with her a couple of days ago. She said, you girls are incredible editors.
Thank you. Thank you. That's always nice.
And how many, have you received a lot of applications already? Somebody's asking.
Yeah, actually quite a lot. And well, the closer we go to the deadline to May 8th, when the submission call closes, the more we get. So I don't know how many submissions we got.
I haven't counted.
And how many we gotten for the sock book, but we tend to get a lot. But like, if any of you watching this live have ideas, you know, in your head, some designs, please never ever hesitate to send us your ideas. We also always work with brand new designers who have never published anything, not even on Ravelry. So if your idea is good, you know, you have a vision, then, and we see that potential, then we go for it, and you have a whole team of professionals standing behind you, working on tech editing, all that stuff. So
I think that's one of the
don't
beautiful
let's
things about you as well. The fact that, you know, as I was saying at the beginning, the fact that you work with designers that, you know, not as famous as others, you work with both, and you give the opportunity to some people and the visibility. And this is how I discovered some designers that I didn't know anything about. And I just fell in love with the work, and I started following them, and I started knitting their stuff, and, you know, including Lucia Ruiz de Aguirre.
Yes.
I didn't know anything about it until I saw her sweater on your in your pages. So to me, it's like, wow, look at that. So I think it just says a lot about the two of you. Also, the fact how approachable you are, the fact that somebody actually sends you an email and you answer almost immediately, and you know, as busy as you are, you know, that's incredible. Not everybody does that. So you know, for anybody that is out there that wants to submit an idea or a pattern, and if you need support for you know, you don't necessarily need to submit it with mYak, but if you need yarn to knit your pattern and try it out and swatch it, just reach out to us as well, especially if you're a designer that you're just starting out, you don't have much you know, funding to do that. We are always happy to work with young designers, and we try to do what we can. You know, we are small as well, like everybody else, but we try to do that.
It's about supporting each other. And
you know, people often, they tend to forget, you know, when you get a certain amount of followers, for instance, that you might think that, okay, this is a big company.
Yeah.
But, you know, basically for us, it has been the two of us for many years, for 2.5 years, and then we were able to hire my husband, and now we have two other employees working members for us. But still, we are a team of 5 people doing everything. Like we said, the packing. There isn't a task that we don't do ourselves. So, and that is also something that makes us really proud, that since we know how tough the business is, and since I was a yarn shop owner, and I do know how difficult it is to run a yarn shop, for instance, or how to be in this business. So it's an honor for us to give up opportunities to new designers to gain some visibility.
And I might say also, one of the you know, one of the things that you actually helped us with, for example, is on the photography side. I remember looking at your photography and say, you know, how beautiful it looks, so professional, and there's so much soul and passion in those photos. And when we were in Italy and you did your photography workshop, it was amazing, because you made, you know, even Carlotta and Elena who are working with us, especially Elena, we start taking pictures in a different way, especially for our you know, finished products or the yarn, and
that's
and
great.
it's so, you know, it was so nice to do that. So I hope, you know, of course, you know, we're thinking about getting you back to New York once all of this is over, and try to do something.
It would be
together.
fantastic.
But your photography workshop is that added bonus that you carry with you, and that's really, really helpful for anybody. And you're so, you know, again, very, you know, you give it away in a way that you just teach people what you've learned over so many years. So that's also very good. I think I'm a bit drunk already. I think this is really my husband is Russian, so I think the level of
he knows how to mix.
Okay. He made it. He makes it. Yeah, never do it. So I feel it. I feel like, whoa, this is, you know, it's maybe, am I flowing? I never drink. I never ever drink. So this is so special. I know that you know, you have your drinks and everything else, and but I hardly do that. And so it's 2:00. I didn't have lunch. Oh my goodness, but it's so good. Sorry guys. Sorry, this was not very
but
professional.
Taking pictures. So I think at least people who have attended our classes, so they know that we aren't professional photographers. So this is all self-taught. We have learned ourselves. So and that's also something that I hope that will encourage other people, for instance designers, that you don't need to have that background information. If you have the passion, you really can make it happen.
Yeah, I think it's true, you know, because some of the tricks and some of the things that you shared, it would help a lot of the knitters as well, because you put so much passion and so much time in knitting a garment, and then you know, and then you put it on Ravelry, and then it's like, oh gosh, you know, that doesn't look that good. It would be so nice if everybody would just, you know, take the time. So I don't know, maybe we should do, I don't know, maybe one of your lives should be about photography.
That could be a really nice thing.
Yeah.
And just, you know, give some hints, and then people can post what they've learned from you, and try to, you know, trying to do that. So yeah,
that's
and
a good idea.
And hopefully you will also come to one of our next retreats in Italy to do another one.
That would be a dream. Yeah. Always up for Italy.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
You don't have to ask us twice.
I know. You also are working on a book with Anna Johanna.
Yes. Yeah.
Anna Johanna and Veera Välimäki.
And Veera Välimäki, of course.
Yes. Yeah. So we are publishing 2 different books this autumn. One by Veera Välimäki, so that's all about stripes, which is known for, and then one by Anna Johanna, which is about color work. So two Finnish knitwear designers. So we are working as publishers, photographing the book, layouting it, and then working as publishers.
I saw some glimpse of some of the designs from Anna Johanna, and absolutely amazing. I think you would just want to knit each one of them.
Yes,
those are amazing. Actually,
I just had a chat with Johanna yesterday, and she's you know, in terms of because she's a mathematical genius. So everything that has something to do with creating, with pattern writing, with anything. So I think she's the ultimate star of pattern writing and understanding the maths behind the whole process. And it's such a pleasure to work with her, and also to some of her designs, which are going to be published in the book. They are very Finnish in a way. So you can see the Finnish scenery in her designs, and Finnish nature and Finnish yarn. So that's, in many ways, that's something that we are very, very proud of.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, you don't have to mention Veera, because she's Veera.
She's Veera. Yes. Yeah. I think
Veera. So there will be a lot of stripes, gorgeous stripes, and
looking forward to both of those books.
And those are coming out when? What is the date?
At the end of this year. So in autumn. Yeah.
Okay.
So after summer, we are going to shoot them and then proceed.
Yeah. And as I said, you know, if everything goes well, if we can make the plan and if we can make it happen, we will definitely have Jonna and Sini back in New York.
Yes.
Sometime when we can plan it. You know, we have some plans. We have
hopefully later this year, right?
Yes. The idea was to have it by the end of, before the end of the year. Let's see how it goes.
Yes.
And
let's
see.
hope for that.
Yeah. And anything about so you have your book for recipes and photography recipes and some patterns coming out, and you have the Anna Johanna, you have the short book, which will be next year.
Yes, so in the beginning of next year.
And gosh,
other stuff going in the background as well, but some still tiny little secrets, but
we know how to keep us busy, and how to hopefully keep you happy, all the knitters happy and inspired. So Yeah, lots of stuff going on here up in the north with our small team.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. I hope exciting times, and when this all calms down a bit, that we actually can sit down all together and enjoy the moment and enjoy knitting together again.
Yeah. But until then, this is one way in which we can be together. And
exactly.
I hope that you will do, we are trying to do this live a couple of times a week. And I hope that you will, consider making some more, because a lot of people were following you early this morning. And I just want to thank you for joining us for this chat.
Thank you, Paola.
We will, I'm completely gone in my head. And I can't remember what I was going to say. I just want to thank everybody that has been watching us. I think I tried to read all of the questions that were coming up, and if we didn't answer, please put your question on our comments when we post it. This is going to be live on our stories for 24 hours, and then it takes me and like a few hours to upload it to IGTV. I have somebody helping me. Amy, who's actually watching, is helping me with the sound, because sometimes it goes off.
Yeah.
And so it will be available as well on the IGTV. And we have something special for you coming up tomorrow as well. So make sure you follow us both and Laine Magazine. Sign up for our newsletters. I know you're following Jonna and Sini. And that's it. I think, thank you, girls. It's always such a pleasure to just hug you and spend more time together. I think that's you're among my favorite people, and I know you've been dear friends for a while. And thank you for the support you've given us, and thank you for all of you joining us. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.
See you.
Thank you. Bye. Ciao. Cheers again. I'm going to finish this.
Cheers.
Ciao.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you all so very much for watching us. See you at the next episode.